Until he was 4 years old, James Henry Trotter had a happy life. That was until one day, when James's mother and father went to London to do some shopping, and a terrible, tragic event happened. Both of them suddenly got eaten up, in full daylight, mind you, and on a crowded street, by an enormous angry rhinoceros which had escaped from the London Zoo. Their troubles were all over in a jiffy, but James's lasted on as he was forced to leave his precious home to live in a ramshackle house on top of a high hill in the south of England with his two aunts. Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker were both really horrible people. Take our word for it. They were so mean to James. One day, James was in the yard, being more miserable than ever, and an old man creepily popped out of the bushes. "Come right up close to me, and I will show you something wonderful," he said. This man presented to James a bag of 1,000 alligator tongues. They were so slimy. Yick! The strange old man told James to take the little green things and mix them in water and to add 10 of his hairs. Then he was to consume it. Of course, just James's luck. He dropped them and they went all over the yard. He tried to catch them, but all the slithery tongues went underground. The next day, something strange happened. This peach on a tree kept getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. Soon as it was as big as a small house. James noticed a small hole in the bottom, which turned out to be a tunnel. He crawled through and arrived at a hard thing in the center, and opened a secret door in the peach pit. Sitting comfortably in chairs were some rather large insects.
James was frightened to see a centipede with many boots on, an earthworm that couldn't see, an old wise grasshopper, a bright glowworm, a nice ladybug, and a sleeping silkworm and a ladylike spider. The insects were ready for an adventure now that James had arrived, and off they went as the peach attached, and they rolled and rolled and rolled all the way down the hill and into the ocean. Along their adventure, they encountered sharks, some rather nasty cloudmen, and a flock of seagulls that carried them away. In fact, they floated all the way to America, when a plane cut the strings attached to the seagulls, and they plummeted to the very pinnacle of the Empire State Building. People of the city wondered what was going on. Was it an alien? A dragon? A wingdoodle? A snoozewagger? The insects and James descended from the gigantic peach, and each of his unique friends were introduced to the crowd. Now, of course, the people rejoiced and a parade was thrown in their honor. As James and his new friends sat upon their float, hauling the gigantic peach, a little girl ran up to James. "Oh, James, James, could I please have just a tiny taste of your marvelous peach?" "Help yourself," he said. "Once you tell one person, well, you can guess what happened next." The group of friends separated and each went their own ways. The giant peach pit took a permanent place in Central Park as a monument, and with that the famous James Henry Trotter lived there. James was happy to be back to the happy life he always wanted, with so many visitors that were always begging him to tell again the story of his adventures on the peach. He thought it would be nice if one day he sat down and wrote a book. So he did. You're just going to have to go check it out from the library. It looks like this.